Most men never realize this, but every woman speaks two languages at the same time. There's the language that comes out of her mouth, and then there's the language her body whispers when she's trying to keep control of the situation. And that second language, that's the one that decides everything. Attraction, curiosity, comfort, disinterest. You can lie with words, but the body confesses. And if you learn to read those confessions, you stop playing blindfolded. You stop chasing. You stop feeling lost, confused, or rejected for reasons you don't understand. Instead, you start moving like a man who sees the world for what it actually is, not what he hopes it could be. Let me tell you where this begins. The moment you walk into a room, before you say hello, before you smile, before you even think about talking to her, her body registers you. It's instinct, it's fast, it's raw, and it's way easier to understand than men think, but only if you know exactly what to look for. Most guys look for the big signs. She laughs at your jokes, she texts back fast, she smiles a lot. But those are the loud signs. They're the signs everyone can see. Women rarely let anything important slip in the loud signs. They hide the important stuff in the quiet ones, the subtle ones, the ones 99% of men completely miss. And that's the unfair advantage you're about to get. Months ago, I watched something that perfectly explains this. I was at a cafe, minding my business, when I saw a woman sitting alone. A guy walked up, decent looking, normal vibe, and he asked if he could sit. She smiled politely, said sure, and they started talking. Now, most men would have looked at that moment and thought, she said yes, she's interested. But if you watched her body, completely different story. Her feet were pointed toward the door, her torso leaned slightly away, her smile was polite, but her eyes kept scanning around the room. She was giving him the, "I'm being polite, not interested" cluster, and he didn't see a single one of those signs. He leaned in too far, spoke too fast, tried too hard. 7 minutes later, she excused herself and left. He never knew he lost her in the first 10 seconds, long before he opened his mouth. That's how fast the body decides. But here's the beautiful thing. The body also reveals interest just as quickly. In fact, most women reveal interest accidentally. They don't mean to, but attraction leaks through their posture, their eyes, their hands, the way they stand, the way they breathe, the way they play with their hair, the way they position their feet, the way they react to your presence. It's all there. It's honest. And once you can read it, you unlock a completely different world. The first signal most men miss is orientation. Where her body faces tells you who she chooses. If she's in a group and her feet point at you, even if she's talking to someone else, that's not accidental. We don't orient toward danger or boredom, we orient toward interest. And if you walk up to her and watch her torso shift toward you, that's her body saying, "I'm open." But if she shifts away, even slightly, that's not rudeness, that's her boundary. Ignore that and you blow everything. Respect it, and ironically, she becomes more comfortable, which often increases attraction. Then there are the eyes. Women communicate more with their eyes in 3 seconds than most guys do with an entire paragraph. A lingering look, a quick glance in return, a micro smile after eye contact, these are green lights. But here's something deeper. When she looks at your lips while you speak, that's her body imagining intimacy before her brain even admits it. If she repeatedly breaks eye contact downward, not side to side, that's shyness mixed with interest. But if she looks away toward exits or her phone, she's checking out emotionally. The eyes don't just reveal interest, they reveal timing. Once you learn to read the feminine signals, something powerful happens. Women start responding to you on a level that isn't logical, it's instinctive. They don't think you're confident, they feel it. They feel it in the tiny shifts of their body, the pause before they speak, the softness in their tone, the subtle way they breathe differently around you. Because real attraction doesn't start in her mind, it starts in her body. And most men never realize that you don't attract women by doing more. You attract them by being more. More present, more grounded, more centered in yourself. A woman relaxes around a man who is relaxed around himself. That's the core. That's the real game. Emotional composure is a superpower. It's the thing that makes your presence feel safe without saying a word. When you're comfortable in your own skin, she feels it instantly, and that comfort makes her open up, soften, and lean in. And here's where things get interesting. Once you start reading her signals, she starts reading yours. Women don't analyze energy, they absorb it. If you're grounded, she becomes open. If your presence is confident, she becomes curious. If your intentions are clear but not pushy, she naturally gravitates towards you. This is where connection stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like chemistry. Because attraction is not strategy, it's alignment. When your energy is steady, she feels drawn to you without even knowing why. And that's exactly where most guys ruin the moment, by rushing, seeking reassurance, or trying to force something that was already happening naturally. A woman can sense insecurity instantly, but she can also sense stability instantly, and stability creates polarity. The kind of polarity where she laughs a little longer than usual, where she teases you just to see if you can handle it, where she mirrors your tone, your pacing, your vibe, where she follows your lead without realizing she's doing it. Because she's not falling for your words, she's falling for the experience of being around you. This is where masculine direction comes in. Women don't want a man who dominates or a man who hesitates. They want a man who leads in a way that feels natural, smooth, calm, and intentional. A man with clarity. A man who knows where he's going, even in small moments. When you mix presence with direction, something shifts. She matches your pace, she adjusts to your rhythm, she opens up to your energy. Not because she's trying to impress you, but because she feels good around you. And that's the real secret. Women follow what makes them feel something. But here's the part that changes everything. A man with boundaries becomes unforgettable. Not because he's hard to get, but because he values himself enough not to give his attention to everyone. Scarcity creates desire, always. And when you combine calm presence, emotional composure, grounded confidence, warmth, and masculine intent, you become the kind of man she remembers. Not because you tried to impress her, but because she could feel your identity, your energy, and your steadiness. Women never forget how a man made them feel. Not what he said, not what he owned, not what he did. How he felt. And the man who understands this, the man who stops performing and starts embodying, is the man who attracts without effort. That's what we teach inside the Magnet Code. Not tricks, not gimmicks, but the inner state that makes attraction natural, smooth, and effortless. Because once you understand her signals, once you understand your own, once you master your energy, you don't chase women, you don't compete with other men, you don't force anything. You simply radiate the kind of presence that pulls women in effortlessly.